Smile from Sparkly Belly. Last week I shared with you how to make these full yard pantaloons for ATS and Tribal Fusion belly dance. And this week, continuing the ATS theme, I've created this ATS belt. It's simple to make, but there's lots of room for creative decoration ideas, and I can't wait to share it with you. Let's get started. To make this belt, you need non-stretch fabric. Heavyweight non-stretch fabric with a nice body and weight would work really well for making this belt. I'm using cotton canvas here, and you need about 15 centimeters or 6 inches of 100 centimeter or 40-inch wide fabric. Medium to heavyweight interfacing? If you can get a fusible one, that's easier. I only had a sew-on interfacing, so I'm using that here. You need about 30 centimeters or 12 inches of this. Fabric for lining, you can use pretty much any fabric for this. You need about 30 centimeters or 12 inches. And your favorite decorative bits. Appliques, medallions, shells, coins, tassels, mirrors, you name it. I'll give you some more ideas later in this video. So first, measure your belt line. It's where you want to wear the belt and not your waist. It's usually between your natural waist and hips. On your interfacing, draw a long rectangle that's your belt line measurement minus 12 centimeters or 4 3/4 of an inch with your preferred width for the belt. Mine is about 6.5 centimeters or 2.5 inches wide. I sewed 2 pieces of interfacing together by overlapping them about 1 centimeter to make the length needed. From the middle point of one of the shorter ends, measure 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches and connect to the corners so you have this pointy end. Repeat this for the other end and cut along the outline. Use that as a pattern, and on your non-stretch fabric, trace the interfacing while adding a 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch seam allowance all around. And cut along the outline. And use that as a pattern and trace it on the lining fabric. Cut along the outline. From the non-stretch fabric, cut 2 strips that are 40 centimeters or 16 inches long and 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches wide. Take one of the strips and fold it in half lengthwise, right sides together. Do a straight stitch along the raw edge with a 5mm or 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Turn it inside out. I like to use a safety pin for this. And fold one end about 5mm or 1/4 of an inch towards the wrong side. Flatten it so that the seam is in the middle and do a straight stitch with a 2mm or 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Repeat this with the other strip. These will be the ties for your belt. Take everything to your ironing board now, and first give the ties a good press so the seam lays nicely in the middle and the ties are flat. Then for the non-stretch fabric, fold in 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch from all edges towards the wrong side and give it a good press. Repeat this for the lining fabric. If your interfacing is fusible, place it on the wrong side of the non-stretch fabric and give it a good press so these 2 layers are together. If, like me, you're using sew-on interfacing, place the interfacing on the wrong side of the non-stretch fabric the same way, fold over the 1.5 centimeter seam allowance, take it to the sewing machine and do a straight stitch with a 5mm or 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Then at one of the pointy ends, place the unfinished end of a tie by overlapping the ends about 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch. Wrong size up for both of them. And do a straight stitch a couple of times and secure the tie to the belt. Repeat this for the other end. And now you have a perfect sturdy base for your belt. From here, decorate it as you like. You can make medallion appliques like these, add embroidered ribbon, layer lace and coins and tassels. I think lots of items can go to decorate this belt, but having attention-grabbing pieces like medallion appliques help balance the overall look of the ATS belt. If you want to make medallion appliques like these are all from my DIY applique kit shop. This cowrie shell design was just added to the shop and I'm in love with it. The kit comes with all materials you need, even thread and needle, so it makes your project super easy. Grab your favorite kits at sparklybelly.com/shop. Oh, and holiday sale is on, so make sure to check it out now and make beautiful medallions and add them onto your ATS belts. After playing around with all these bits, I decided to use my favorite embroidered ribbon, which I picked up in New York City, and kept my ATS belt rather simple so the medallions pop. And I added chain of coins so the belt has some movement pieces. But for yours, do whatever makes you the happiest, be creative and add colors and fun items as you like. Once you decide on your decoration, sew on items that are going to be at the bottom of the layers first, then layer more on top. So I stitched the ribbon with the sewing machine first, then stitched the coin chain on the back by hand, and sewed the medallions on top. Once you've finished decorating, on the back side, place the lining piece and do a whip stitch all around to secure the lining to the back. This way, all your stitches and hard work is protected and the belt looks nice and professional from the inside too. And your DIY ATS belt is complete. The base is really nice and sturdy and the size is adjustable with the front ties. It doesn't take a lot of fabric, so you might be able to make with scrap fabric, and I had so much fun decorating it. Again, be creative, and if you make your own belt inspired by this tutorial, make sure to share your creation in Sparkly Belly's Facebook group. We'd love to see what you create. And if you like this belt DIY, share love and share this tutorial with your dance sisters. They'll appreciate it. And if you're curious about making more ATS or tribal costuming bits, sign up for my newsletter at sparklybelly.com/ATS belt and I'll send you more ideas your way. Next week, I'll share with you how to make this sparkly swirly armband inspired by ballroom jewelry. If you're curious, here's another reason why you should sign up for my newsletter so you won't miss it. Thanks for watching and keep sparkling!